Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to pick up on the Watsons chapter 1 from where we left off yesterday. At the end of the chapter yesterday, Byron and Kenny, the main character, were going to go out and start scraping the windows of the brown bomber. So we're going to get back to where we left off with them yesterday. It doesn't sound like they're very excited to go out and do this, so that's where we're starting. We moaned and groaned and put some more coats on and went outside to scrape the car's windows. I could tell by the way he was pouting that Byron was going to try and get out of doing his share of the work. I'm not going to do your part, Byron. You'd better do it, and I'm not playing either. Shut up, punk. I went over to the brown bomber's passenger side and started hacking away at the scab of ice that was all over the windows. I finished Mama's window and took a break. Scraping ice off the windows when it's that cold can kill you. I didn't hear any sound coming from the other side of the car, so I yelled out, I'm serious, Byron. I'm not doing that side too, and I'm only going to do half the windshield. Do half the windshield. I don't care what you do to me. The windshield on the bomber wasn't like the new 1963 cars. It had a big bar running down the middle of it, dividing it in half. Shut your stupid mouth. I got something more important to do right now. I peeked around the back of the car to see what By was up to. The only thing he'd scraped off was the outside mirror, and he was bending down to look at himself in it. He saw me and said, You know what, Square? I must be adopted. There just ain't no way two folks as ugly as your mama and daddy could give birth to someone as sharp as me. He was running his hands over his head like he was brushing his hair. I said, Forget you, and went back over to the other side of the car to finish the back window. I had half of the ice off when I had to stop again and catch my breath. I heard Byron mumble my name. I said, You think I'm stupid? It's not going to work this time. He mumbled my name again. It sounded like his mouth was full of something. I knew this was a trick. I knew this was going to be How to Survive a Blizzard Part 2. How to Survive a Blizzard Part 1 had been last night when I was outside playing in the snow, and Byron and his running buddy Buphead came walking by. Buphead has officially been a juvenile delinquent even longer than Byron. Say, kid, Buphead said, you want to learn something that might save your stupid life one day? I should have known better, but I was bored, and I think maybe the cold weather was making my brain slow, so I said, What's that? We gonna teach you how to survive a blizzard. How? Byron put his hands in front of his face and said, This is the most important thing to remember, okay? Why? Well, first we gotta show you what it feels like to be trapped in a blizzard. You ready? He whispered something to Buphead, and they both laughed. I'm ready. I should have known that the only reason that Buphead and By would want to play with me was to do something mean. Okay, By said. First thing you gotta worry about is high winds. Byron and Buphead each grabbed one of my arms and one of my legs and swung me between them, going, Woo! Blizzard warnings! Blizzard warnings! Woo! Take cover! Buphead counted to 3, and on the third swing, they let me go in the air. I landed headfirst in a snowbank. But that was okay because I had on 3 coats, 2 sweaters, a t-shirt, 3 pairs of pants, and 4 socks, along with a scarf, a hat, and a hood. These guys couldn't have hurt me if they'd thrown me off the Empire State Building. After I climbed out of the snowbank, they started laughing, and so did I. Cool, baby bro, By said. You passed that part of the test with a B+. What you think, Buphead? Buphead said, Yeah, I'd give the little punk an A. They whispered some more and started laughing again. Okay, By said, second thing you gotta learn is how to keep your balance in high wind. You gotta be good at this, so don't get blowed into no polar bear dens. They put me in between them and started making me spin round and round. It seemed like they spun me for about half an hour. Then slobs started flying out of my mouth. When slobs started flying out of my mouth, they let me stop, and I wobbled around for a while before they pushed me back in the same snowbank. When everything stopped going in circles, I got up and we all laughed again. They whispered some more, and then Bi said, "What you think, Buphead? He kept his balance a good long time. I'm going to give him an A-. I ain't as hard a grader as you. I'm going to give the little punk a double A-. Okay, Kenny. Now the last part of surviving a blizzard. You ready?" "Yep." "You passed the wind test and did a real good job on the balance test. But now we got to see if you ready to graduate. You remember what we told you was the most important part about surviving?" "Yep." "Okay, here we go. Buphead, tell him about the final exam." Buphead turned me around to look at him, putting my back to Byron. "Okay, Square," he started. "I want to make sure you ready for this one. You done so good so far. I want to make sure you don't blow it at graduation time. You think you ready?" I nodded, getting ready to be thrown in the snowbank real hard this time. I made up my mind I wasn't going to cry or anything. I made up my mind that no matter how hard they threw me in that snow, I was going to get up laughing. "Okay," Buphead said. "Everything's cool. You remember what your brother said about putting your hands up?" "Like this?" I covered my face with my gloves. "Yeah, that's it." Buphead looked over my shoulder at Byron and then said, "Woo! High winds, blowing snow. Woo! Look out, blizzard a-comin', death around the corner. Look out!" Byron mumbled my name, and I turned around to see why his voice sounded so funny. As soon as I looked at him, Byron blasted me in the face with a mouthful of snow. Man, it was hard to believe how much stuff Bi could put in his mouth. Him and Buphead just about died laughing as I stood there with snow and spit and ice dripping off of my face. Byron caught his breath and said, "Aw, man, you flunked. You done so good, then you go and flunk the blowin' snow section of How to Survive a Blizzard. You forgot to put your hands up. What you say, Buphead, F?" "Yeah, double F-. It was a good thing my face was numb from the cold already, or I might have froze to death. I was too embarrassed about getting tricked to tell on them, so I went to the house and watched TV. So as me and Bi scraped the ice off the brown bomber, I wasn't going to get fooled again. I kept on chopping ice off the back window and ignored Bi's mumbling voice. The next time I took a little rest, Byron was still calling my name, but sounding like he had something in his mouth. He was saying, "Kay, Kay, hell, hell." When he started banging on the door of the car, I went to take a peek at what was going on. Bi was leaned over the outside mirror, looking at something in it real close. Big puffs of steam were coming out of the side of the mirror. I picked up a big hard chunk of ice to get ready for Byron's trick. "Kay, Kay, help me, go get Mama, hurry up." "I'm not playing, Byron. I'm not that stupid. You'd better start doing your side of the car or I'll tear you up with this ice ball." He banged his hand against the car harder and started stomping his feet. "Oh, please, Kenny, help me, go get Mama." I raised the ice chunk over my head. "I'm not playing, Bi. You better get busy or I'm telling Dad." I moved closer, and when I got right next to him, I could see boogers running out of his nose and tears running down his cheeks. These weren't tears from the cold either. These were big, juicy, crybaby tears. I dropped my ice chunk. "Bi, what's wrong?" "Help me, Kenny, go get help." I moved closer. I couldn't believe my eyes. Byron's mouth was frozen on the mirror. He was as stuck as a fly on flypaper. I could have done a lot of stuff to him if it had been me with my lips stuck on something like this. He'd have tortured me for a couple of days before he got help. Not me, though. I nearly broke my neck trying to get into the house to rescue Byron. As soon as I ran through the front door, Mama, Dad, and Joey all yelled, "Close that door!" "Mama, quick! It's Bi! He's froze up outside." No one seemed too impressed. I screamed, "Really? He's froze to the car! Help! He's crying!" That shook them up. You could cut Byron's head off, and he probably wouldn't cry. "Kenneth Bernard Watson, what on earth are you talking about?" "Mama, please hurry up." Mama, Dad, and Joey threw on some extra coats and followed me to the brown bomber. The fly was still stuck and buzzing. "Oh, Mama, help me! Get me off of here!" "Oh, my Lord!" Mama screamed. And I thought she was going to do one of those movie-style faints. She even put her hand over her forehead and staggered back a little bit. Okay, we're going to pause there.